Good morning, dear students. Welcome to UDAAN Career Institute. In today's class, we will continue with Chapter 11, Class 11, that is Transport in Plants. Now, in the last class, we have gone with absorption of water by plants. In today's class, we will continue with the water movement, which is done by plants, how the water gets transported to various parts of the plant. Now, basically, there are two theories which are associated with the transport of water to various parts of the plants. The first theory is root pressure theory, and the second theory it is the transpirational pull. Now, as various ions from the soil, they are transported into the vascular tissues of the roots. Water also gets transported, and it goes inside the xylem. So, along with the ions, water will also go inside the xylem, and it will create a positive pressure in the xylem. This pressure is known as root pressure. So root pressure basically it is because of entry of water into the xylem, which is followed by the mineral ions. So root pressure it is responsible for pushing water up to small height. So increase in root pressure it leads to pushing up of water into the stem for a very short distance. The effect of root pressure can be also observed in night as well as in case of early morning when the evaporation is very low. The excess water it gets collected in the form of droplets around the opening of veins near the tip of grass blades. This loss of water in the liquid phase is known as guttation. So if you see in the early morning, then there would be droplets on the surface of the grass, and that is because of the loss of water, which is known as guttation. Now this root pressure it provides a modest push to the transport of water, and it is in a continuous chain form. That is, a continuous chain of water molecules are formed in the xylem, and this often breaks under enormous tension which is created by transpiration. So the due to transpiration the loss of water is much higher, and as a result more tension is created on the leaves, and this root pressure is not able to force the water or push the water up to such an higher extent, and as a result the continuous chain of water molecules may break. This root pressure it does not account the majority of the transport of water because it is not so much aggressive in pushing up the water. As a result, it does not form the majority of the water transport. As a result, we need another mechanism for the transport of water, that is by transpiratory pull. Now, this is the another theory which is related to the transport of water, that is transpiratory pull. Water it is pulled through the plants, and that the driving force of this process it is the transpiration which is taking place from the leaves. So as the transpiration takes place from the leaves, as water vapor are lost into the atmosphere from the leaves, a transpirational pull is being created, and this results in the formation of pulling of water molecules from the bottom part. This is referred to as cohesion tension transpirational pull model of the water transport. Now most of it is lost through the stomata. So most of the water gets lost through the stomata which are present in the leaves, and this water loss is known as transpirational loss or transpiration. Now, what do you mean by the transpiration process, or what is exactly the transpiration? So, basically, transpiration is evaporative loss of water by the plants. So, water it gets lost to the atmosphere by the process of evaporation, and it occurs mainly through the stomata which are present in the leaves. Now, the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the leaf it also occurs through pores which are known as stomata. The immediate cause of opening or closing of the stomata is a change in the turgidity of the cells which is known as guard cells. So students, as you know that stomata, the stomatal aperture, it is being covered by two kidney or bean shaped guard cells. Now, these bean shaped guard cells their turgidity, it leads to opening or closing of the stomata, and this stomata is involved with the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now the inner wall of the guard cell, which is facing towards the pore or the stomatal aperture, it is thick and elastic. The opening of the stomata is also aided by circular orientation of cellulose microfibrils which are present in the cell wall of the guard cells. So this stomata, it can be opened. It is because of the presence of cellulose microfibrils, and they have a circular orientation. So due to these microfibrils, opening of the stomata takes place. Now, when the turgidity of the guard cell increases, as a result, it leads to flanking situation of each stomatal aperture or pore, and as a result, the stomata, it gets opened, the outer walls will bulge out and force the inner walls also to form a crescent shape, and this leads to opening of the stomata. So whenever the turgidity of the guard cell increases, as a result, what will happen? The outer walls of the stomatal guard cell will bulge and the inner walls will form a crescent shape. As a result, the stomata will get opened. Now, and as soon as the stomata gets open, the exchange of gases, it takes place. Now when these guard cells, they lose turgidity, as a result they lose water, and this due to loss of water, and due to this reason the elastic inner walls, they will regain their original shape. As a result, the guard cells, they will become flaccid, and the opening of the stomata, once again it gets closed, and the exchange of gases also stops. Transpiration is affected by several factors such as temperature, light, humidity, as well as the wind speed. Plant factors that affects transpiration, it includes number of stomata, distribution of stomata, percentage of stomata which are open, water status of the plant, as well as the canopy structure. Canopy, it is the arrangement of branches in case of trees. So how the branches, they are been arranged in the trees, and how they form a canopy structure, that also affects the rate of transpiration. Now, due to this transpiration, or due to the process of transpiration which is taking place in the leaves, the ascent of xylem sap will take place. So, whatever contents which are present in the xylem, they will start ascending, and this ascent of the xylem sap, it depends on following properties of water. The first property is the cohesion. It is the mutual attraction between the water molecules. Also, it affects the adhesion property, that is attraction of water molecules to the polar surface, that is the vessels of the xylem. The third one is the surface tension. Now, water molecules, they are attracted to each other in the liquid phase more than to water which is present in the gaseous phase. So, when water molecules are present in the liquid phase, the surface tension will be more, and that will be giving strength to the holding capacity of the water. As a result, these are the three major factors: cohesion, adhesion, and surface tension, which leads to the ascent of xylem sap because of transpiration. Now, the physical properties give water high strength, tensile strength, and it also provides high capillarity property. High tensile strength is ability to resist a pulling force, and high capillarity is ability to rise in the form of thin tubes. So these physical properties are being given to water. Now in plants, capillary movement or capillarity, it is aided or it is helped by very small diameter of the tracheary elements, that is tracheid and vessel elements. So basically xylem, it has tracheids and vessel elements. Their diameters are very small, and as a result a capillary movement of water takes place in plants. Now, because of low concentration of water vapor in the atmosphere as compared to the substomatal cavity and intercellular spaces, water can easily diffuse into the surrounding air, and as a result, this pull can be created because outside in the atmosphere the amount of water is less, and inside the stomatal cavity the amount of water will be more. As a result, there will be a concentration gradient which leads to higher rate of transpiration, and this leads to creation of a pool so that water can ascend in a proper way. So now in this diagram, we can see that there is an evaporative loss of water which is taking place from the surface of leaf in a particular at specific points that are basically the stomata. Now in the next topic, that is how this transpiration and photosynthesis, they are correlated with each other. Now this transpiration, it has many purposes. It performs many functions. This transpiration is responsible for creating transpirational pool, and that's why water can ascend to the topmost part of the plant, and that is for the absorption and transport process of the plants. It also supplies water to the leaf, and that is necessary for photosynthesis. Transpiration helps in the transport of minerals from the soil to all parts of the plant. Also, transpiration helps in cooling the leaf surfaces. It also helps in maintaining the shape and structure of the plant by keeping the cells turgid. Photosynthesis, it is limited by available water, which can be swiftly depleted by the process of transpiration. So when transpiration is taking place, there will be less of a loss of water, and photosynthesis also needs water. As a result, photosynthesis becomes limited due to the process of transpiration. The evolution of C4 photosynthetic pathway or a system, it has an ability to maximize the availability of carbon dioxide, and it also has an ability to minimize the loss of water. So loss of water has been minimized to 50% in C4 pathway compared to the C3 pathway, that we will learn in more detail when we come with the process of photosynthesis. So this transpiration, it also helps in the evolution process of C4 photosynthetic pathway. So students, in the next class we will continue with the uptake and transport of mineral ions. Thank you very much.